George Osborne, the Chancellor of the Exchequer, will deliver his final budget before the general election on Wednesday. He has already maintained that there will be no gimmicks or giveaways, but with opinion polls showing the two main parties neck and neck, what could he come up with to tickle the electorate's fancy? We already know that there will be a review of business rates, the property taxes that businesses pay to local authorities. Currently, these are based on the value of property, which puts high street retailers at a big disadvantage to their online competitors. The Confederation of British Industry has said the current structure is outmoded, clunky and regressive, but the review is likely to take up to a year, so reform will be a matter for the next government rather than the current one. Turning to personal finance, another consultation is set to look at the feasibility of a secondary market for annuity contracts. In last year's budget, Mr Osborne removed the de facto obligation to buy an annuity, which is an insurance product that pays a fixed income for life. That move was cheered by many of those approaching retirement, but those who had already bought an annuity, a generally irreversible decision, were left frustrated. The government now wants to set up a market where those who no longer want an annuity can sell it. This would be popular amongst older voters, a key Conservative target, but it would be a complex reform at a time when the pensions industry is already absorbing seismic changes. Mr Osborne usually likes to spring a big surprise at the end of his speech. Last year it was pensions, and in the autumn statement it was the reform of stamp duty. What could form the final flourish this year? Mr Osborne would no doubt dearly love to increase the inheritance tax threshold, and may commit a future Conservative government to doing so. However, it's unlikely that his Liberal Democrat colleagues would allow him to raise the threshold this time around. An increase in the personal allowance would be much more agreeable, but that would be expensive. A third option would be to tinker with the threshold at which the higher rate of income tax kicks in. That's currently £41,866. Almost 5 million people now pay tax at the higher rates, so any increase in that threshold would certainly be popular.